the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, February 16th. So today we do have the moon in this Taurus energy going void, of course, from 10:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at which time we are going to be shifting into Gemini energy. But we also have the first quarter moon popping off in this Taurus energy before going void, of course. And while void, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, the ruler over the Taurus energy, moving out of Capricorn energy and into Aquarius energy. So it's going to be a very interesting day. Of course, I did put out an astro forecast about what Venus moving into Aquarius is all about. And of course, if you've been following along with the lunar cycles, the first quarter moon in Taurus energy is the first realization of some of the downloads, some of the insights that we definitely received around the new moon in Aquarius just a week ago. They're finally coming into realization. Even more than that, we may be presented with an opportunity to make a move, take some sort of action, align with a choice, align with a decision based off of a lot of the things that we were contemplating under that new moon in Aquarius energy. The first quarter moon in Taurus is going to be a physical body, physical realm action point, decision point. And so this is going to be the time when we start kind of realizing what it is that we're building towards, which is definitely something that many of us have been waiting for. Now, Venus moving into this Aquarius energy, she's going to bring a whole different vibe to what it is that we've been working through. And again, she's been in Capricorn energy, taking a very business-minded approach to her emotions, to her affections, to what makes her happy, to her long-term goals and visions. The Aquarius energy going to give us a huge observation of what's going on in that heart space, especially really problem solving some of the problematic areas that we have been very focused on since the full moon in Leo. That definitely shook us up. That's when the major change of heart actually took place. So there's a lot going on here today. And with 10 aspects taking place, we are definitely going to have an opportunity to kind of see different angles. 7 of those aspects are going to involve the moon. So before we get into any moon aspects, we have the sun in this Aquarius energy shining a bright light on the future. It's a very visionary energy. We're acting as the observer. We're looking to kind of free ourselves, liberate ourselves from some of the problems, some of the funk, some of the challenges, obstacles that we have been very aware of as of late. The sun in Aquarius energy just wants us to be thinking about how we can improve, what we could do better. The sun is going to make a beautiful interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. Jupiter's in Taurus energy, a fixed earth sign, grounding energy. And anytime that the sun and Jupiter are coming together in a positive way, we are feeling good about things, about life. Even if nothing has changed, even if we haven't had the kind of clarity that we want to have, we are optimistic, we're feeling confident, we are open to exploring different possibilities, different alternatives. Again, the sun wants us to think futuristically. Jupiter in this Taurus energy wants us to think about the present moment, the here and now, especially in our physical lives, where we have the opportunity to make some changes, make some adjustments, where we have room to grow. Especially building in a particular direction to stabilize relationship dynamics, stabilize money matters, really put us in a situation, a circumstance where we're able to kind of redesign what our physical lives actually look like. So this is a high-spirited energy. We're very hopeful. We're starting to see little glimmers of hope, little indicators, if you will, on where it is that we would like to move forward, creating new opportunities for ourselves. It is a beautiful jam. The moon in this Taurus energy going to sextile, beautiful interaction with Neptune in this Pisces energy. So we love Pisces energy and Taurus energy working together because the Pisces energy is our spiritual realm. It's our intuition, it's our imagination, our dreams, our creativity. It's everything that happens outside the physical realm. The Taurus energy is the physical realm. So whatever we're able to kind of be downloaded with or aligned with a visual, with a dream, with a hope, with a wish, we're able to actually bring it into form, materialize it through the Taurus energy. So emotionally speaking, we are interacting with Neptune and we are kind of building ourselves up. We are giving ourselves permission to move into la la land. We are understanding where it is that we're feeling a little bit more hopeful, more faithful, more renewed in our soul, in our spirit, especially with the direction, with the path, with the vision, with the goal, with the dream that we're currently trying to piece together. So 10:02 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, we have the moon in Taurus energy, getting into the boxing ring, squaring off, creating tension and conflict with the sun in Aquarius energy. And a lot of this, again, is because Aquarius energy is super hyper focused on the future, while the Taurus energy doesn't want to think so far ahead, doesn't want to think so far in the past, just wants to kind of ground, anchor into the present moment, plucking the silver linings, what's working, what feels good, what we want to continue building upon here in the present moment. So the first quarter moon, like I previously mentioned, is an aha moment. It is a choice point. It is a point of action. We are realizing a little bit more than we did even a week ago on what we have to build, what we have to create as far as futuristic visions, goals, and dreams go. Now, the tension, the conflict is needed in order for us to take an action, to make a move, or to feel pressurized enough to at least make a choice and a decision that we can get on board with. So 11:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Venus moving into this Aquarius energy. Again, I'm going to recommend that you listen to the astro forecast, you bust out your Aquarius season e-guide, you capture what's going on for you at this particular point in time with this particular transition. And of course, if you want to know where this is taking place in your life, first and foremost, download your February zodiac forecast. We lock into Gemini energy 2:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's always a little bit of a shift. It's very noticeable because we're coming out of a very low, slow, grounded, anchored energy of that fixed earth energy that we are in with Taurus, and we're moving up to the mental plane. We take a huge elevated jump, if you will, from this present moment, from our physical form, from the here and now. Now we're moving up to the mental plane. Now we have curiosity really running things. Now we want to be a little bit more social than we have been with the moon in Taurus energy. There's a lot popping off in our mental plane, and considering the fact that we are still in Aquarius season, the highest form of our intellect, having the moon now in Gemini energy, we're going to start putting some pieces together, connecting some dots, so to speak. It's going to be a rapid processing program in our heart space and in our head space. 3:02 p.m., we are going to have the moon in Gemini, trining beautiful interaction with who? Venus, who just entered into Aquarius energy. So this is air on air action. And yes, it is going to take a little bit of time for us to kind of acclimatize and adjust to Venus now being in a fixed air sign. However, we have wheels turning already. And this trine, it's a beautiful interaction. It's a harmonization of the air elements. Of course, emotionally speaking, the moon being in Gemini energy, which is a mutable air sign, we're pushing the boundaries. What could we do differently? Where can we improve? What needs to change? What can we adjust? Constantly in motion, trying to kind of rearrange our thoughts, our emotions. Venus, on the other hand, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. She's in Aquarius energy, which is a fixed air sign. So she's looking to stabilize her heart space, her affections, her happiness, her joy, or where the lack of all of those things actually are. This is a trine, which means that emotionally speaking, we're going to have some aha moments here. We're going to start really seeing some revelations, some epiphanies pop off on what it is that we want for ourselves in a futuristic realm, a futuristic situation. The moon in Gemini energy then going to trine another beautiful interaction with Pluto in this Aquarius energy. So again, air on air action. Pluto does a deep dive in our psyche. That is the egoic programming, the conditioning that our pain, our trauma, our wounds have created that essentially in our unconscious realm is making the decisions for us. If we're not aware of it, if we're not doing what we can to kind of flip the script and rewrite it with a higher self program. The moon and Pluto coming together in this way is going to be intense. It's going to give us like tunnel vision goggles for us to really kind of zoom in on what needs to change in our perspective, in our inner narrative, in how it is that we are recognizing where the old programming still has too much power and control over us, even though this new version of self is trying very hard to anchor in new belief systems, new narratives, new inner dialogues. So this is going to be a good shift. This is going to be an empowerment energy where we get to boss up, kind of take control of our thoughts, of our emotions back again in order for us to realize what is kind of blocking us, what is challenging us, and we have the ability, the power to flip the script then and there. Now, things are going to get a little bit tense early evening because the moon is going to go ahead and semi-square Chiron and then semi-square the North Node in Aries energy. So we had a beautiful interaction between Mercury and Chiron in the North Node here yesterday. But now there is tension, there is conflict. A lot of this is because the Gemini energy and the Aries energy, again, it's air and fire. So the point is that we have to try and balance those elements so that the fire, the excitement, the passion, the anger, that doesn't get too large and kind of burn us in the process. And again, that air energy is thought, ideas, communication, conversation, kind of collaboration on some of the creative ideas and projects that are now coming full stop into our faces. Now, the moon interacting with Chiron, this probably isn't going to feel so good because that brings the wounds out. It brings the identity crisis out. It brings the division of this new version of self out, understanding where it is that we're still very attached to the old form, the old reality, the old version of self, the old ways of thinking, the old ways of feeling, the old ways of doing. And then we interact with the North Node in Aries energy, which again, this is a not so nice interaction. So instead of seeing growth, healing, and repairment, we're actually kind of creating some mental blockages, if you will. We're kind of focused on, the problems instead of the solutions. We're focused on kind of the roadblocks, the challenges, the obstacles, instead of kind of feeling empowered and rising to the challenge. We're kind of letting some of these blockages, these restrictions really get the better of us. So that isn't going to feel so good. However, we can learn a lot about ourselves, about our thought process, our inner dialogue, our inner narrative, our emotional standing, by how far down into the darkness we allow ourselves to go before we recognize the energy influence of this particular astrology event. And we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, we override that programming. It's not very long after that we have the moon in this Gemini energy trining, beautiful interaction with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, who is fresh in this Aquarius energy as well. So again, another air on air action. Mars, again, kind of sporadic, kind of eccentric with the energy bursts, with the passion, with the inspiration, with the motivation, with these aha moments. There's not a whole lot of room, not a whole lot of opportunity to make moves, to take action in the ways that we feel we want to, that we're ready to, that we're prepared to. But at the same time, emotionally speaking, we've been in this pause pattern, really focused on cultivating the fire energy, the spark, the fire, the flame within us, where passion, where desire, where inspiration, or even anger and agitation are acting as the fuel source for us to kind of blaze a new path away from where it is that we're at and closer to where it is that we desire to be. So emotionally speaking, we're all fired up in a good way, I would say. However, we are going to have to kind of, move into that energy management type of situation because, again, we're kind of limited in the external actions that we would prefer to take because a lot of this is aggressively cultivating the idea, the vision, the goal, the dream. So the last thing that we have going on here today is Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves in this Aquarius energy, blending the highest form of our intellect with the lower form of our intellect, really able to communicate between our higher selves, our lower level intellect, connecting the dots and reading in between the lines, so to speak. Now, Mercury is going to get into the boxing ring and square off with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who's in Taurus energy. Uranus rules over the Aquarius energy that Mercury is in. So this is going to be a little bit of an extra added oomph, if you will. Mercury and Uranus getting into the boxing ring, kind of fighting it out, first of all, is going to send a jolt of electricity through our physical bodies. And that can manifest as anxiety or excitement or just being revved up in all the right ways. It is a jolt to the system, if you will. Can also create a little bit of a disruption in our plans, or, flip the script on us, or have some sort of unexpected event or unexpected information kind of come forth. It is a point of tension, though. So this is really going to mess with our thought patterns. It's going to mess with our conversations. It's going to mess with our perception. We are hyperstimulated, so we're not really absorbing the information as we should. We're not really taking a lot of the things going on in our peripherals in at the right speed. Instead, we're kind of jittery. There could be little glimmers, little flashes of insight, new ideas coming, but it comes out of tension. It comes out of frustration, if you will. But here's the thing. Many of us think that as soon as we get that clarity, we know exactly what we need to do, and then we're going to be able to take action upon it. That's not the way that it goes. We're not really in a time of taking as much external action in our physical realms as we would prefer. And so although you may get a flash of insight, or you may be downloaded with a new idea, or there is an epiphany popping off, it's not going to come together as quick or as efficiently as you would prefer. Just as quick as it comes on, it leaves just as fast, leaving a fogginess, leaving a vagueness, if you will. It's hard to actually recall the amount of clarity that you received in that one moment, and then it puts you in a state of frustration and confusion. We are likely going to be very impatient with ourselves. We're getting on our own damn nerves, which means that we're highly agitated by people around us. And what's even more than that is at this particular point in time, we're actually sick of the same old, which is an interesting revelation to have, seeing that the Taurus energy is a fixed earth sign. We're very resistant to change. We're very resistant to kind of switching things up, inviting new methods in. But at this particular tension point, this conflict point, we are more than open than doing whatever it is that we've already done. We definitely need to open up our minds. Like, the monotony of our lives is just sucking the life force energy out of us at this point. And we realize that, guess what? Maybe taking a calculated risk and kind of switching things up would be the best remedy to the situation that is currently kind of, I'm going to say, suffocating us. Now, in communication styles, because again, Mercury does rule over communication as well, we could be a little bit forceful, a little bit too blunt, a little bit too matter of fact, if you will, and that could either upset the apple cart with other people receiving our bluntness or straightforwardness that doesn't kind of sit so well, or it could even bother us because you know how sometimes you say things and you hear it too late and you're like, oh shit, I probably should have put that through a filter first. This is an exact situation where that particular aha moment, those realizations could come a little bit too late in the process after you've already said the thing that you wish you didn't say. So although this particular transit could kind of, create this tension, create this conflict, which in turn is going to, push us into a change, into a realization, if you will, it is going to overstimulate us at the same time. So we have to be very mindful that, all systems are kind of on overload at this particular point in time, and that we don't lash out, we don't project our state of agitation onto other people.